So let me start off this video asking the number one question that gets asked by anybody who's doing business. Do you want to be successful? I'm pretty sure me asking you this question right now, you say, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I want to be successful. Everybody wants to be successful. But how many people have thought about the cost, the true price of success, what it takes to get to the next level? So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about through my experiences and through my journey of what the true cost of success is. And then you'll be better equipped to understand if you're ready to pay the price.
Now, a lot of the times, what people do is they say, I want to be successful, I want to do this, I want to be great. But are you prepared to pay that cost?
Woo-hoo!
Are you prepared to pay the iron price? Like they say in my favorite TV show, Game of Thrones. You have to pay the iron price. You have to stay up late nights. You have to cry. You have to bleed. You have to work harder than everybody else. It's the fucking masturbation movie.
The iron price for success. So imagine, if you will, the success that you've always wanted. You got the money, you got the cars, you got the trips, you got all the fancy things that people tell you are success. Not only that, you hear everybody talking about how great you are. You proved all the doubters wrong. Everybody saying you're the shit. And you just feel like, yeah, I got it. I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. But most people look at all these things, all these superficial things, and they don't think about what is the cost of those things? What does it really take to get to that success? So the first thing I want to talk about before I get to any of that, talking about success or the measures of success, I think first we have to understand that we need to define success properly. One of my favorite all-time success principle books, Success Principles books, The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale, he said in that book that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, I like that definition because to me, it kind of defines it in this way. Everybody has different measures of success. I keep fucking that word up today for some reason. Everybody has different measures of success. So, for example, one person may say, oh, you know, I want to make a lot of money. I want to run the bands up. I want to be stunning on. I want to do all that shit. Then another person says, you know, I want spiritual enlightenment. I want to reach the next level. I want to be self-actualized. Other people say, man, I just want a family. I want to be a good father to my kids. I want to be a good mother to my kids. All these things are different measures of success. And all of them are success in their own right. But what I think is most interesting about this is no matter what version of success you are at or going for, there's always going to be a journey. Now, what do I mean by this? What do I mean that there's always going to be a journey? Well, let me put it like this. The rich person, he sits around complaining that, you know, his daddy gave him everything and that he doesn't really have to struggle. He doesn't really have challenges. Matter of fact, the things that you would probably sit back and say, man, I wish I had his problems. I wish I had those money problems. People just ask me for money. I don't even have fucking money to give. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, what about the person who's broke, sitting at home? They're saying, oh, you know what? I don't have any money. I don't have anything. I'm broke. I'm trying to pay bills. I'm trying to make it paycheck to paycheck. And they would be having a different set of problems than the other person. But each of those people will be trying to achieve a different level of success. So while the rich person, he may be trying to achieve the success of just being recognized, being known for his own merits. You, coming from the bottom, you might be just trying to get up, get money, and try to make a name for yourself and build a sustainable lifestyle. Each person has their own measure of success. So when we start to go out after that, what we have to realize is that every time you go after that, you will pay a cost for that success. And the first thing you have to learn, the first cost that you're going to pay is uncertainty. So when I left school, of course, I threw caution to the wind. I wasn't really concerned about what could happen, what might happen, or really what my future would hold. But what are most people trading when they go after success? We look at all the status symbols, the success symbols, and we say to ourselves, that's what we want. That's what we want to achieve. But we never think about what's the true cost of getting those things. So when I talk about uncertainty, what I talk about is the stability. Wanting to wake up every morning knowing what things are going to be. Like if you go to a job, a 9-to-5 job, of course, your paycheck's going to be there every Friday or every 2 weeks, whatever, your paycheck's going to be there. It's right there. It's set for you. You go to college, what? They give you a path set out, right? You're supposed to go to college, do your 4 years, get a job. Even though we can debate that's bullshit, but at the same time, let's just, from a theoretical level, say that it is true, right? What's going to end up happening is you have a certain path, and that's what most people want, certain paths to success. Now, when I left school, I can tell you, complete uncertainty. I didn't know sometimes where I would eat. I was sleeping on the floor. All these things came because I went after my dreams. But as you see success start to improve, there begins to be a little bit more certainty. But in entrepreneurship, there's never certainty. There's never a knowing if there's going to be something, if there's going to be a next deal, if there's going to be a next big pickup or whatever it is. We've lost deals. We failed. We've succeeded. We've done all these things. But what I realized in the end And the one thing that kind of kept me going through all of it is that though there's uncertainty, there's always an ability to mitigate that uncertainty by taking massive action. Now, I talk about this all the time, over and over and over again, because what I realized was that most people, when they want to be successful, they think that it's going to be a clear, laid out path. They think that if I just get out here and I follow somebody's model, I go watch enough YouTube videos, I go take somebody's program, that it's just the only thing they're going to need for success. What they don't realize is that they have to learn to deal with uncertainty. Uncertainty is one of the biggest costs. One of the things you're going to have to give up if you want to be successful. You're not going to always know where you're going, but you're always going to be able to get to where you're going if you're willing to give up that certainty. There's another thing that you have to deal with. I'm being very serious with you right here. Another big thing you have to deal with is loss. Now, I'm not talking about loss like you might think, just loss of money. Of course, you have to deal with taking risks, things like that. That's part of what I'm saying when I say uncertainty. But I'm going to talk about another loss. One of the hardest things I had to realize, which was loss of friendship, loss of family members, and loss of those people close to you. Now, on the surface, some people are just those hard asses. They're like, I don't give a fuck about losing people. But what if it's those friends that are close to you? What if it's the people who came from the bottom with you? What if it's the people who told you they loved you and they're showing fake love to you, right? What if it's those type of people? When I was going into business, I remember the first thing when I left school that nobody really believed in what I was doing. As a matter of fact, most people were talking about me behind my back. I was even accused of joining a cult. This is serious shit. A cult. Like, people thought I was in a cult because I just was like, I'm not going with the traditional belief. So, of course, when I say I'm not going with tradition, people thought, cult, satanic cult, crazy shit. Definitely not. But what I realized was that in order to be successful, it required me to step outside the boundaries of traditional thinking. And by doing that, because most people are stuck in their normal way of thinking, it required me losing a lot of friends. I'm talking about friends that I had been rocking with for years, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, lifetimes. I had to lose those friends in order to reach the level of success that I wanted. And it was impossible for me to maintain those relationships, even though I tried. So don't look at me and say, oh shit, you just said fuck everybody. No, I tried. I tried my hardest to maintain these relationships. But you talk to people and you start telling them, hey man, I'm getting into self-development. They're like, what is that stupid ass shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? You get into self-development? Who gets into that? So when I tried to move forward, I found that a lot of people that were with me, they weren't moving forward with me. And my brother, he said one time, he was talking about relationships. There's a girl I was talking to at the time. It's pretty profound of him. He said, relationships only go two ways. You can only grow together or grow apart. What you realize when you go after success is that you have an ideal that you want to live up to, or you have an ideal that you want to reach. And that ideal that you want to reach doesn't necessarily fit into the ideals of other people. A lot of people want you to stay in your box because if you succeed, then what does that say about them? So when you start stepping up, they'll start saying, oh, you're being something you're not, you're being fake. You have to cut those people off. And most people, they have trouble doing this because they think that they can take these people along with success. A silver lining in this, just a side note, a lot of times when you become successful, you start rising up, some of those people come back, but a lot of them are gone forever. Relationships, girlfriends, family members, all these people are things that you have to be willing to lose in order to be successful. Now, I don't want to leave it as morbid as that. I want to take it to what happens when you do or are willing to lose these people. What happens then is better people come into your life. And that's what I really realized about all this journey. It's a lot of time having faith in that loss so that you can find better people to come into your life to help you achieve the things you want. So one of the hardest things that you have to deal with when you are becoming successful is criticism. Nobody likes to be criticized. Nobody likes to be talked about. Nobody likes to be talked down on, right? But what I realized about becoming great or doing anything is that the first thing you have to realize about being successful is you have to put yourself out there. So what does that open you up to? A lot of scrutiny, rather. Now, I want to put it to you in this perspective. When you're working in a company, say you're just a worker walking around, you just got there, you're a part-time worker, and maybe you make a mistake. People are not going to really give a fuck. They're going to be like, oh, you made a mistake. That's fine. You're just a worker here, whatever. You're expendable, right? But what happens when you're the CEO and you make a mistake? Well, yeah, you're going to be under a lot more scrutiny. Now, when we think about success, we always like to think about what it's like to be on top. Now, let's talk about something recent that everybody can relate to, the Donald Trump thing. Whether you love him or hate him, I'm not here to make any political statements. I really don't give a fuck. But what I am going to talk about is this. At the presidential level, there's a lot of scrutiny. When Obama was in office, there was a lot of scrutiny. When Donald Trump gets in office, there's going to be a lot more scrutiny because you're demanding such a high level of success. To rise to a point where everybody knows who you are, whether you're a rapper, whether you're an artist, whether you're a famous doctor, what philanthropist, whatever it is, there's always going to be somebody scrutinizing you. You can think about anybody you love right now. Like, I know the funniest thing I always see when I go on YouTube. You go look at the most motivational speeches you've ever seen in your life. Stuff that just makes you want to bring or brings tears to your eyes. And you'll see some dislikes on it. And I'm thinking, who the fuck dislikes this? Who doesn't like this video? But a lot of people don't like it because one thing, no matter how great something is, no matter how good something is, no matter how deep the concept, no matter how clever, no matter how loving, no matter how caring, there's some people who still just can't deal with it and they'll be criticized. But the higher you go, the more criticism you'll fall under.
Success can also be emotionally taxing. Now, what does that mean? People are going to say you're crazy. They're going to tell you you're wrong. They're going to tell you it won't work. But you have to have the mental fortitude. You have to be strong enough mentally to ignore and block some of these people out. Like, for example, I got this one friend. He's an amazing friend. Every time I come with him out, every time I come to him with an idea, he always tells me the way that it won't work and not the way that it will work. So I have a challenge coming on with him. And when I do this big-ass concert and I blow it up and I sell out, I'm going to slap him with about $50,000. That slap is going to go viral. You have to be able to slap your friends in the face with your goals and your success, and not necessarily stunt on them. However, a lot of people are going to say, you might have to stunt on them a little bit, but you have to be willing to go against what everybody else is going to say. You have to be willing to go against society to accomplish and achieve your dreams. Cause success.
As I realized, like, for example, if you start YouTube and you have videos that are not that good, say you're doing with like an iPhone or a shitty camera, then people are kind of like, oh, that's what they judge you by, right? Oh, you did some cool videos with that camera. But let's say you start off right out the gate. You've got cinematography that's next level, almost some like Avatar type shit. Then that's what people are going to judge you by. You're going to have a higher level of scrutiny. So success, because you're going to rise up, it's going to demand and I say this, demand a higher level of criticism from the people around you. And if you're wanting to be successful and face or get to your level of success, you're going to have to learn to deal with criticism. Success in itself demands so many things, right? And I'm talking about your version of success. But one thing that people don't talk about is responsibility. What do I mean by this? When you start off, or when I started my business, it's just me. All I had to do was take care of myself. So sleeping on the floor, that's acceptable for me, myself, me being one person, right? What happens as you go further and further and further up the ladder? You start making more money. You start bringing on other employees. You start bringing on other people who want to work with you. You start working with other companies, other businesses, people who expect you to bring in the work that they ask for. You start working with other clients and customers, and they expect you to deliver on a job that you said you could deliver on, or you won't be getting paid. See, at first, when you're starting off and you're just putting up videos, you're posting stuff, there's not much demand of responsibility on you, right? If you don't put it up, who gives a shit? You didn't put a video up. If you do put a video up, well, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. However, when you get to a higher level of success, what then begins to happen is the amount of responsibility that's demanded of you becomes higher. I want you to think about it like this. When you start your company, and you start building to a point where you've got employees, what's then going to happen? Well, now you have employees that count on you coming through. So let's say videos and marketing, that's a part of the way you make money. If you don't put up those videos now, you have a whole nother set of people who are depending on you to put out content, put out work that makes sure they get paid. The responsibility becomes way higher. You can look at all these people on television, and you can say, oh yeah, they're just living the life. They don't have anything to worry about. But what they do have is different problems from you. You see, a person who's very successful has a lot of people relying on them, family members. I've had friends talking about coming from being homeless to where they're the only person who's supporting their family, only person supporting their fiance. All these things are higher levels of demand of responsibility. It's like a kid. When you're a kid, you're naive. You're not worried about, oh, how do I pay this? Or do I have to worry about another person? But as you become more successful as an entrepreneur, you will have to worry about this. And success, though it looks glamorous on the outside, though it looks like everything is just, a party and everybody's having fun and you see all the milestones, you see all the great things that are happening in somebody's life, nobody ever stops to tell you that it's going to demand a high responsibility. It's a corny statement, but you've heard it before. With great power comes great responsibility. It's true. Even though it's simple and it's overused, it's true because it encapsulates the entirety of success. What I'm talking about this in the video is because I want people to clearly understand one thing, that success is not as black and white as people make it. It's not, oh yeah, I'm successful because I went out there and I put up a couple videos, I worked a week straight. This is gonna require a lot of work. It's gonna require a lot of responsibility, consistency. You have to be willing to hold yourself accountable. And then as you get higher up, you have no choice but to hold yourself accountable. You have to ask yourself, to reach the level of success that you want, are you ready to deal with that? Are you ready to do what you have to do? Are you ready to pay the price, the sacrifice that you have to make to be successful? Success, like I said, I don't want to wrap it up and make you think that, oh, it's terrible to be successful. No, what we're talking about is reaching the success that you really want in life. Not living mediocre, not living average, being the person that you want to be. In order to do that, you have to understand the cost of success. There's a lot more to success. Of course, you could talk about success for hours. I could literally go on for days about success. However, what I want you to remember is those key points about what's the cost of success. First, you have to give up the certainty that you might believe that you need in order to just sustain yourself in life. Don't need certainty. What you need is to take action. And of course, you know I'm a proponent of massive action. Remember, there's always going to be loss. You're always going to lose people you love. People are going to fade away. People will come. People will go. But in the end, you'll find that the people that come around, they're better. They're a better match for you, and they're a better fit for you. Of course, always remember, there's going to be criticism. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. There's going to be a lot of people telling you, oh, well, you know, you can't do that shit. Who do you think you are? There's no reason you're going to be able to rise up. That doesn't work. That'll fail. All this stuff, just like Will talked about it, whatever. You're always going to have those friends who are doubting you, telling you why it won't work. Matter of fact, find some friends who tell you how shit can work, not how it won't work. Then, of course, also remember that it's going to require a higher level of responsibility if you want to be successful. When you decide to step up, you're making a statement. You're deciding to be somebody who's responsible for other people besides yourself and other people's lives. It's similar to having a family or something like that. You have to make sure that you're always on point. Well, it's not always on point, but you get the gist of it. That you're consistent enough that you can produce results for the people around you and the people who depend on you. Those are some of the key costs of success. A lot of times we look around. We look for status symbols. We look for money. We look for power. We look for women. We look for whatever in order to say we're successful. But what we don't realize is that success, no matter what the success has a cost. It has a cost. I hear people always talking about, you know, I look at this person, I want to be this person, but you don't even understand what the price they have to pay to reach that level of success. Ask yourself, just because they're successful, do you want that life? Do you understand what they've paid to get to that point? And is that the same price that you want to pay to be successful? Understand that, and you'll understand the true cost of success. So let me ask you, do you want to start a business from scratch, from nothing, no money, starting from the bottom? Now we're here.